mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about a team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboy fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face.
Oh, I'm from Brooklyn.
Hey, get us any.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti. I'm Matt Siriani, joined alongside Carl Maglowski, and we have Sal Angioletti coming to us from an undisclosed location, the man behind the mayhem of the show. Sal, how you doing?
Mayhem? So you guys must be, I can't think of the joke.
What joke?
Oh, man. There's no joke.
Mayhem.
Yeah, chaos and mayhem. Carl, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. I love how you and I are twinning almost with the color of the scheme of the shirts. I love that. Ming brought it up to our attention before we went on the air. And speaking of Ming Chen, he's behind the mic tonight. How you doing, Ming?
I'm doing great. What's going on, guys? Yeah, I like the look here. This is like the new Talking Baseball uniform, if you will. Phillies maroon, everybody.
Yes. How was your holiday weekend?
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
Barbecued, took down, went 3-0 in cornhole.
There you go.
It's all good.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, good old cornhole. You can't
Nice.
beat down the 4th of July. And also, I want to give a quick little shout out before we begin the show. I want to give a shout out to Joey Chestnut for eating 63 hot dogs in crutches and retaining his title. Like, that's crazy.
Not only that, he got accosted by protesters. Did you see that?
Wait, what?
Yeah. These protesters stormed the stage, and he headlocked. He looked like he broke the guy's neck. And I'll see if I can pull up the clip later. But he said he could have eaten 3 more hot dogs in that time that he took down the protesters.
I would love to see that.
All right, hold on.
I would love to see that.
The girl, she ate 40.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that the girl who missed out on last year's hot dog contest to have a baby?
Yes. Now, what they do is they take the hot dog, the bun, they dip it in the water so it gets soggy.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, how can you eat a soggy roll? Then they mush it all in there, man. I seen those hot dogs. Like,
all right, here we go. Here's the video.
No way, man.
Yeah, it's too much to think about how they eat their hot dogs. But like, let's just take a look at this video right here. Ming. All right, let's see what this is here. So, Chestnut's in the middle. Oh, what the heck is going on?
He headlocked him. We gave him a sleeper. See ya. We gave him a sleeper hold.
What exactly did that sign say? I couldn't read that sign. That's how quick Joey Chestnut took that guy down.
He gave him a sleeper.
They were dressed in
He must
Darth
be.
Vader.
He must be a wrestling fan. He knew how to do the old Triple H headlock.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they were dressed in Darth Vader masks. They were protesting meat, animal cruelty.
Oh, my God. Why? Oh, my God. I thought... whatever.
And Brooklyn's not the right place to do that because you get your ass handed to you.
You'll get your ass kicked. Exactly. Like, if you do that at a hot dog eating contest, you're going to get your ass kicked. But anyway, we have a lot of baseball to talk about. We have a lot of stuff going on. I have a hot take to begin the show. Carl's going to vote on his all-star ballot. We're going to go to MLB.com/all-star/ballot, where Carl is going to vote on who he thinks should be in the all-star game. I voted on my show yesterday, and if you haven't seen my show, Siriani Says Sports, every single Tuesday, then you better go check it out. I voted on the ballot, and my cousin Ryan Burns Jr. voted on the ballot. And we're going to talk about the Mets and Braves, how that race is heating up very, very fast. And we're also going to talk about the Guardians and how they've kind of fallen off a cliff. They lost again today. And we're going to have a bunch of other things. We're going to promote some events that we're going to have in the future. It's going to be a fun show. But let's get started. So, I have a hot take to begin the show. Last week, as you all know, who watched the show last week, I was in the Bronx. And I saw the Yankees sweep the Oakland A's in 3 games in a 5-3 victory. And I came on the show via my phone, and I told Carl asked me, "Are you worried?" And I said, "No, I'm not worried." 1 week later, I'm feeling something completely different.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The train is off the tracks because here's what's going on, folks. Since the Oakland A's game, they took 2 of 3 from the Guardians, which is fine, but they lost to the Astros again, where the Astros just kept the Yankees from scoring any runs, and the pitching was bad in untimely moments. And then you go to the Pittsburgh series, and they lose to Pittsburgh last night, a team that they should have mopped the floor with. Other than that guy O'Neal Cruz, there's literally no talent on Pittsburgh Pirates. There's no talent. And you really got to step...
Except one guy.
O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, there's another guy.
Charlie Hayes' kid.
Right.
Okay, so the Pittsburgh Pirates have some nice pieces for a rebuild. They're a rebuilding team. They're not competing anything. They have the worst run differential in all of Major League Baseball. The Houston Astros. This is my hot take.
I think they're tied. Are they tied with the Angels, or was that no? Or was there another team that have the same win-loss record?
We'll take a look at the win-loss records later on when we go over the division, but actually we'll do that right now really quick to see what's going on. The Pittsburgh Pirates are, I think, 33-47 now with that win. Yes, I'm right. They're 1 game back of they're tied with the Cubs percentage-wise, but win-loss record-wise, they're about the same. But anyway, what's my hot take and what am I about to say right now? And you guys are going to say I'm crazy for this. The Houston Astros, give them the World Series.
Right.
Give the Houston Astros the World Series right now. Because here's why. They own the Yankees. They own them. If it weren't for 2 walk-off wins, the Yankees would be winless 0-5 against the Astros this year. I'm serious. And on top of that, the Astros, whenever they're put up against opponents that they should beat, they beat them. The Yankees, they go up against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who they should have beaten to the ground, and they lose 5-2. Jameson Tyrone looked awful, and he's looked awful over the last few games. There's another half a season to go. The Yankees got to play Boston 16 times over the next half of the season. That's hard. The American League East is a hard division. The AL West is a joke. Other than the Astros, there's no one competitive in that division. You might as well just give the Astros the World Series.
Hold on one second. Hold that thought a second. Even though the Yankees did lose yesterday, they still are up by 13 over Boston. Now, in Boston to make some kind of, maneuver, Boston has to take at least 3 out of 4 games in this upcoming 4-game set against the Yankees. The Yankees need to win tonight. Who are they playing after tonight?
After tonight, they play Boston.
They're in Boston tomorrow night, 4-game series.
They play Boston in a 4-game set. They play the Reds after that at home. Then they play Boston, and then the All-Star break.
So
the reason
they
why
have what? They got 8 games now against the Red Sox, or is it 7?
That's 7 games in a week and a half span. So, but the reason why I'm saying, go ahead.
Boston needs to even.
Mm-hmm. But the reason why I'm saying this hot take and the reason why I wanted to say this is because the Astros know how to beat opponents whenever they can. The Houston Astros are solid all around. Pitching, hitting, all that. They got an MVP candidate in Yordan Alvarez, who's lighting up and should be, I'm saying should be because he really shouldn't, it's a no contest between him and Ohtani. He should be in the All-Star game. And then on top of that, like I said, if it weren't for 2 walk-off wins, the Yankees would be winless against them. And guess what? The Yankees were 8 games above the Astros for best team in baseball a week ago. That has shrunk to 4.5 games now. The Yankees are just 4.5 games better than the Houston Astros.
It's like I told Sal last week when after
you have to be.
it's going to be the Yankees and the Astros going to the
ALCS.
ALCS. The winner of that. Basically, I told the Yankees need to get off the hump. So over the hump against Houston. The Red Sox finally did over the Yankees, and then they won all these World Series and all this stuff. Until the Yankees do that kryptonite for Houston, it's going to be this thorn in their side. So they want if they're going to get over the hump, it's a tough ALCS against Houston. Those two are going to be in his ALCS. So that's going to be where or the Yankees going to rise to the occasion and break through, or Houston's going to say, "Who's your daddy?"
Pretty much. That's pretty much Carl hit the nail right on the head. But again, like, you got to play and beat the teams in front of you. The Yankees did not do that. They had an opportunity to sweep the Cleveland Guardians and go 6-0 against them in the regular season, which would have been a huge confidence booster for them, and they didn't do that in the final game. Granted, yeah, taking 5 of 6 is fine, but you lose to the Pirates. I mean, come on, man. I mean, seriously.
That's why they play 162, bro.
Well, look what happened yesterday. But wait a minute. It's baseball, Susan, because look at what happened to the Mets yesterday. The best pitcher in baseball, Scherzer, couldn't get a hit for him. They lose 1-0 to the Reds, who also have the worst record in baseball as well.
Exactly.
So them's the breaks.
Yeah,
we could go 162-0, play the Astros in the playoffs and lose, and the whole season means nothing.
Absolutely.
That's how it is. Yep.
But there's a chance that the Houston Astros could up. I don't know what the word is. They could overtake the Yankees for best record in all baseball, because 4.5 games is a very small margin with 81 games to go. It's a very small margin. It could very well happen. The Astros could have home field advantage in the American League playoffs, and that's very scary.
See, I think the Yankees need it more than Houston.
Yeah, they do need it more than Houston, because the last thing you want to do is go into Minute Maid Park for 4 games against a team who you cannot beat without walking off against them, and it's just weird, man.
The Yankees need to finish at a 1 seed, so they don't have that problem.
Yeah, but I'm not confident.
Moving, they got to keep that.
Yeah, but I'm not confident that could happen, because guess who you play after the All-Star break? Guess who you play after the All-Star break? Twice.
1 game.
2 games. It's 2 games. It's 2 games. You play the Astros in Houston for 2 games after the All-Star break. Okay. That's not a good way to say, okay, let's finish this off strong. Like, that's not a good way to go in after the All-Star break after a nice long rest.
Hey man, can you do us a favor? Can you type up who has the easiest second half schedule, either Houston or the Yankees?
It's got to be Houston, because the Yankees got to play Boston 16 times. They got to play the Rays 9 times. They got to play Toronto 7 times. They got to finish their series with the Orioles. Schedule Houston Astros. So let's take a look at the Astros schedule and look at who they have to face.
They got Oakland after tomorrow.
Are you guys doing that schedule?
Well, we'll look at the Mets schedule. We'll look at the Mets schedule. But look at this. Look.
Think about something
that
they should play everybody, and next year that starts.
No
more just one interleague game. It's everybody's playing each other next year.
That's good. I like that way. But look at the Astros schedule here. They've had
but look at the teams they're playing. You have to beat the teams that are below 500. The Yankees were doing that in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
You got to beat teams like Kansas City and Oakland. You have to beat. And these are teams that we thought were going to be contenders with them, like the A's. They sold the house. Seattle made a lot of good moves in free agency.
Seattle's going to be tough, because Seattle's actually playing better now.
Yeah, they've gotten better. Seattle's improved. But look at this right
Seattle,
here. So they got to play Kansas City for 2 games. They got to play the A's. Then they got to play the Angels. They got to play the A's again. Then they got the All-Star break. Then they got the Yankees twice. Then they got the Mariners. Then they got the A's again. Then the Seattle again. Like look at this. And then they got Boston's probably a tough one. The Guardians have fallen off a cliff. The Rangers, the A's again.
See, Atlanta's gonna be tricky.
Atlanta's gonna be tricky because they've caught fire. They have caught fire at the Braves. You got the White Sox, who
games behind the Mets now. Yep.
Yep. You got the White Sox, who've fallen off a cliff as well. You got the Twins, who Carl's eating crow. You got Ming's Orioles right there. They're
not an easy team anymore, my friend.
They're not a cakewalk anymore.
Hold on, we're forgetting something. Now, between here and the end of the month is a trade deadline. So
that's right.
A lot of teams that we're seeing here, like the White Sox, I don't know who the A's have left. The A's don't have anybody left. They have Boston's Xavier Bogaerts is going to, what do you call? He's looking at free agency, go to a National League team.
Well, that would be big. That would be big if Xander Bogaerts leaves the Red Sox.
They're not going to let him leave.
They're not going to let him leave. Not when they're doing this good.
He turned down the contract extension. He's going to go. So,
but if I was Boston, why would I let him go? Why would I trade him when you're reading a wild card?
Exactly. That it makes no sense right there.
I called up WFAN the other day, and I got through. Kevin patched me through,
Mm-hmm.
and the Yankees and Roy just had trade talks, and the Yankees said no because they mentioned a certain minor leaguer in the deal to get Andrew Benintendi.
Interesting.
Mr. Oswald Perez. Yes.
Interesting. The trade deadline.
Look at that with the Yankees.
Yeah.
The Yankees need.
Can you translate that?
I don't.
I wish I could.
Sal, can you find better Wi-Fi? We can't. We can't hear you.
Yeah, it's getting hard. It's getting hard to hear Sal. But anyway, if you're a Yankee fan and you're looking at this schedule that the Astros have, and you realize you got to play Boston 16 times in the second half of the season, I wish we found out like strength of schedule, SOS, for all the.
I'm not scared of Boston. I'm not scared of the Red Sox.
How are you not scared? They had two guys batting over 300.
What is Boston's schedule right now? Who are the Red Sox playing?
I'll tell you right now.
Before they hit the Yankees.
They're playing Tampa.
They're playing Tampa, yeah, and they lost. But like at the same time, it's like Boston's a good team. They're a playoff bound team. They're playoff bound. Like the Yankees are playing team. Like let's take a look at the Red Sox schedule right now, and then the Guardians lost 8-2. That's not a good look for them. Boston is playing the following teams in July before the All-Star break. They got the Yankees, they got the Rays, and they got the Yankees, and they got the Blue Jays, then they got the Guardians, and they got the Brewers, the Brew Crew. That could be a tough one. In August.
Okay. Now look at they got Tampa. Tampa's been helping us out. I know my thing frees up. I'm not in a great spot. It frees up again. Okay, you got Milwaukee. Look, they got the Brew Crew. Toronto. Those three teams have been flipping around. I don't know what happened to Tampa Bay, but they really lost sight of this year.
Yeah, they're in a mess. They're in a mess right now.
Milwaukee's going to give the Red Sox a hard time. The Rays always do. Toronto always does. So right there, the Yankees could get help from those teams. But the Yankees need to do some work, and they need to do it tonight with Sevy on the mound. So the Yankees should take care of business tonight.
I just pulled up your schedule for the second half. So you guys have 2 in Houston.
Yeah.
Okay? Then you go to Baltimore for 3.
They're not a pushover anymore.
Then you go to Citi Field for 2 for the Mets. 4 home against the Royals. Home 3
those are the games you got to win.
Home 3 against Seattle. Then you're at 3. Then you're in St. Louis for 3.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
Out Seattle for 3.
West Coast.
In Boston for 3. Home for Tampa for 3.
Right.
4 big games against the Blue Jays. Two games at the field for at Yankee Stadium for
the Mets.
Subway Series for the Mets. Then you have
Your West Coast trip.
4 in Oakland, 3 in LA against the Angels, 3 in Tampa, and then you have
The Twins at home for 4.
Twins at home at 4. Then you got Tampa for 4. No, Tampa for 3
Yeah.
at home. At Boston for 2. At Milwaukee for 3.
Oh wow.
Pittsburgh for 2. Boston for 4. At Toronto for 3. Blue Jays come in for 3. And then your last series is at Texas for 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the makeup games from the beginning of the year that was due to the lockout. So
Due to the lockout. It's crazy how we're
Now-
halfway through the year.
right, here's something the Yankees need to do. They need to. You got a strong bullpen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying when I got froze up and got cut off, I think Aroldis Chapman is done. I think his time in the Bronx is over after that outing he had. I don't think the Achilles. I don't think he's healed properly at the moment. The kids are doing well. Clay Holmes, Michael King, Marnacchio, and all those guys. But you got to get Joey Gallo's got to go.
Yeah.
It's pitiful what's going on with this gentleman. Even when he was with Texas, he couldn't hit a ball.
Yeah. It's
So the
disaster.
Yankees need to examine some outfield depth, maybe another pitcher. I thought maybe Tanaka would have came back. Sorry, my allergies. And they need to examine what we need to not fall apart.
Oh, no.
And if the train starts to fall off that track behind the stadium there, it's going to be bedlam in the Bronx. It's going to be like the Bronx all over again. So
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, the bottom line is you have to win a World Series this year. You have to be number 1 in the American League. At this point, I don't care if you break the record for most wins in a season. I don't care. Just win a World Series. That's all that matters.
yeah, but look what happened with Seattle when they won 116 games in 2001, and the Yankees just swept them right out of the playoffs. So
That's
those 116 wins didn't mean a damn thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like a World Series matters more than the record. The record for most wins in a regular season means nothing. And while the Yankees are on pace to do that, yeah. While the Yankees are on pace to break while they're on pace to keep up this, while they're on a good pace right now, and I like it so far, losing to the Pirates is not a good look at all. It's not a good look at all.
the good thing is still have
Listen,
it's up. That's my favorite for them.
It's starting to break up again. Take us to the show. Also, before I leave,
Okay.
both the AL and NL is going to get an extra All-Star.
Yeah.
So, both popularity, and we all know.
Yep.
I'll call Big C, Matty Ice, the Iceman Comet, Ming, the other side of the glass. We'll be back in full force next week. And after the All-Star game is over that week, we'll be breaking down the first half of the season.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, Matt. Don't forget to tell everybody about July 22nd and August 6th. Okay?
You got it. You got it. I got this all under control.
All right, gentlemen. You got
All
it,
right, bro.
gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you soon.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Sal. Thank you, Sal.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, it was hard to The Wi-Fi there was unfortunate. It was unfortunate, but like Sal brought up a couple of good points. Pace is good. Right now, the pace of the Yankees right now is a little bit stagnant because they are coming off a sweep of the A's where they could have swept the Guardians, and then they have a stinker in Pittsburgh, where there was mostly Yankee fans in a beautiful ballpark, I might add. The PNC Park is top-notch ballpark, and it was mostly Yankee fans in there. But again, this all comes down to what can you do now?
Right. What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? The Yankees, the last week, have not done much for me. They're 2-3 in the last 5 games. They had the day off. Usually on a day off, you look really good the next day, but then you lose to Pittsburgh. Like, that's a problem. And they have a day off after the Boston series when they go to Fenway, but that's going to be a challenge in its own right. Going to Fenway and playing Boston for 4 games. That's a challenge. And Boston, like I said, you got to play them 16 times in 81 games. That's almost 20% of your schedule for the rest of the season. That's crazy. And Carl, I don't know about you, but like, if I'm a Yankee fan right now, I'm scared. Looking at the rest of the schedule, I'm scared. Because they play a lot of competitive teams with pride, teams that are playoff bound, teams that are looking to get in the playoffs. It's tough.
Now, you're scared that you may not win the division, or you're scared what's going to happen when you guys make the playoffs?
I'm scared for both. I think Boston might have a chance to overpass the Yankees.
Well, let's pull up the standings, man. Can you pull up the standings real quick?
I know what you're going to say. They're 13 games ahead, yada, yada, yada.
They play 7. They play 7 before the end of next weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. To have a chance, Boston needs to be 7 back, heading to the All-Star break.
So they would have to pick up 6 games.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So they would have to be 6 out. They would have to be 7 out when the All-Star break comes.
They could do that. They could do that. Yeah, I'm scared.
But here's the thing.
They could do that.
Boston has to win, and Yankees have to lose everything. So if the Yankees have a split, they're still house money. So they need to be swept in Boston, and then they have to be swept when they come to Yankee Stadium next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So say if they don't win tonight. So before you're at Boston for 4, then you have home before you play Boston. Who do you have?
The Reds.
The Reds.
The Reds.
So say if you win tonight, so you'll be 4-7 over the next 11 games. So 4-7 will make Yankees 62 and 30.
Yeah.
Okay. Boston has their 7, so that'd be 52 and 36. Who else did Boston have before the Yankees?
They have Tampa again.
For what, 3?
For 3 in Tampa, in Tropicana.
Basically, if they win 1, that's basically the 7. So Boston has to go win tonight. Boston has Tampa tonight. So if they win tonight, they need to go 7, 10, maybe 12 and 4 in the next 16.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It's
tough. It's really, really tough. But I think something's going to happen with the Yankees. I really do think something's going to happen, whether it be a bad thing or whether it be a mediocre thing. I'm really concerned. I'm really, really concerned. And hopefully I'm wrong. I've been wrong for the most part, but I think reality's starting to hit them a little bit. And that's what's concerning.
Now here's a question. We'll get Ming's
opinion.
Okay. Say the Yankees, or say they have a 2-game lead or a 2-game lead over Houston with the 1 week to play.
Yeah.
Okay. You go all out to get the number 1 seed, or do you just want to just make sure you're nice and healthy going to the playoffs? We'll get Ming's. I would just rest, but we'll see what Ming's got to say, and then we'll give you.
Rest up, man. Yeah, once you hit that magic number and it's 0, rest up your players, man. Make sure they're healthy.
Yeah, and it's actually, there's an article out there that I read after the Yankees beat the A's and swept them in the Bronx. There's an article out there that said 3 reasons why the Yankees will win 116 games and 3 reasons why they won't. One of the reasons why they won't win 116 games is because they need to stay healthy for the playoffs. They have World Series on their mind, not breaking records. So that's one of the reasons that was out there. And then the second reason was because the AL East is so tough that, it's not a cakewalk anymore to play the Orioles. So those are 2 of the reasons why I was told they won't win 116 games. And you know what? Like I said before, if they don't break the record for most wins in a single season, that's okay. It's okay. But at the same time, show some dignity when you're playing teams like the Pirates. But anyway, that's enough for the take. But like I said, I think I have the Astros winning the World Series as of today, July 6, 2022. Book it. Astros win the World Series because there's no one in the National League that can touch them. There's no one else in the American League that can touch them.
What do you mean?
The National League, the Dodgers are up and down, and the Mets are collapsing, and the Braves are somewhat.
You know what? I want how Atlanta's playing. I won't be just shocked if for some reason they were falling apart, and all of a sudden they turned it up. And now Atlanta's going to be a buyer to get more pieces in. So now Matt Olson is playing good. You know, they lose Albies, but they turn up the switch. So I think Atlanta may go back there again this year. I won't be shocked.
You wouldn't be shocked if there was a rematch?
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if it's Atlanta and Houston again, because for some reason Atlanta's got that mojo. 25-7. The Mets had all this gap over Atlanta.
Yeah, 10.5 game gap.
They had all this gap over Atlanta and then the Phillies, but now
it's closed.
The Phillies are 7 back. They're still in striking, but now it's 2.5
for the Braves. Yeah,
in the Braves. So I'm telling you, I think I predicted before the season started. I think Atlanta's in the division. I think my hot take is good that they might come back and beat them.
Yeah. All right, but anyway, that's enough for the hot take. I've gotten a lot of negative energy out, and I'm a little bit exhausted. But we're gonna get right into Carl's All-Star Game vote. So for those of you who don't know, you can go to MLB.com/allstar/ballot to vote for your favorite players to get them into the All-Star Game. You have till July 8th to vote, and then the votes will come out July 8th, and then the players will be determined.
Now, for All-Star starters?
These are All-Star Well, this is just the team. This is for the starters, yeah.
Okay. So, if you want, we can start in the National League, if that's fine.
Sure, you can start in the National League.
I'm going to go with Goldie. I'm going to go with
Paul Goldschmidt.
Leading MVP of the National League. I have him going. I was going to do, Albie's getting hurt. Now it's going to be Jism.
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm Jr.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nolan Arenado. He was on fire last weekend against the Phillies, so he's gonna be. Plus, Machado's been out.
All right.
Dansby Swanson's been hitting the ball good over the last couple weeks, so I'll have him over Trey Turner.
Okay.
Wilson Contreras over Travis d'Arnaud.
Interesting.
Okay.
So Ronald Acuna Jr. is automatically in. So you have to pick 2 outfielders from
Is he already in?
Marte, and
why is he already in?
He got the top vote.
He got the top vote in the National
Alrighty,
League.
alright.
Yeah, it's like a buy. Like
It's a bye. So think of it this way. The way I think of it is
It's going to be Mookie Betts and Jock Peterson.
So you got Mookie Betts and Peterson. And then your designated hitter is either
so it's not so Harper's going to get the selection, but he won't play, so it'll probably be William Contreras as a DH.
You might as well just vote for William Contreras in this case.
They're going to vote for Harper. Harper's going to get the vote. He's going to get the selection, and then William's going to go.
All right, so now the American League.
It should be Ty France. But I think they might do Vladdy Jr.
Yeah. Because it's the namesake, the value of his name, like the PR.
It's going to be Altuve.
I agree with that.
I'm going to go. Oh, that's tough.
This is the tough one, man.
This is one of the tough ones.
Also, their OPSs are almost identical.
Their stats are very, very similar.
Yeah,
should be value average over RBIs.
It should be. It's all Devers. I think they're going to do Devers, but I think Ramirez will be
a reserve.
Reserve, yes.
Tim Anderson, Bo Bichette. I mean, Tim Anderson smokes Bichette in batting average. Just smokes him.
I will go Bodo. What numbers though? I'll go Bo Bichette.
Really?
Yes.
That's shocking. And then catcher.
I would do Alejandro Kirk.
See, this is not because of my Yankee bias. I'm just watching like as a whole. I think that Jose Trevino has had a great season. Like he's coming clutch on a lot of occasions. But I do agree with you in this instance with Alejandro Kirk. His stats are just overpowering.
Now, for him, they said they talked about it last night on MLB Tonight. He's like a 260-pound catcher, and he's getting knocks left and right.
Who Kirk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
You know?
He's basically a more athletic Gary Sanchez. But anyway, outfielders for the American League, Aaron Judge is a bye. He's automatically in. So you got 2 Blue Jays, a Yankee, and an Angel in there.
Well, my DH, I'm going with Alvarez.
I agree with that.
They're going to go for Trout. They're going to go for Trout, and they're going to go with Springer over Stanton. I think they're going to do Springer and Trout. I think. That's what I think.
That's your opinion. All right. So to highlight what Carl's selections are, he picked for the American League Vlad Guerrero Jr. for first base. For second base, he has Jose Altuve. He has Rafael Devers at third. Bo Bichette playing short. Aaron Judge, George Springer, and Mike Trout in the outfield. Catcher Alejandro Kirk, and then Jordan Alvarez, designated hitter. And then for the National League, Carl has Paul Goldschmidt, who he has as his leading candidate for MVP. Jazz Chisholm Jr. playing second. Third, Nolan Arenado. Shortstop, Dansby Swanson. Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, and Jock Peterson in the outfield. And the Contreras brothers playing catcher and designated hitter, respectively. So, that's a pretty good all-star team. I give you that, Carl. That's good.
Why don't we do, what about now starting pitching?
Pitchers are determined through another method. I forget exactly. It's through another method. I forget why they don't put pitchers up there for votes. But it's kind of confusing why they don't do that. But the pitchers are to be determined by some type of committee vote, but not by the fans. Which I think
it's by the coaches and managers?
I guess so.
All right, so we can't. So DeGrom's not. It's not going to be DeGrom.
DeGrom ain't getting
It's not going to be Scherzer.
Mm-hmm.
Can we, Can we see the stats for the National League pitchers, please?
If we could see,
we can.
If you go to Yahoo Sports, they'll show you like all stats on all the baseball players and then who's leading in what category. So if you go to Major League Baseball, you'll go to stats. It'll show you wins and losses. It'll show you everything. So, all right, so there we go. We go to pitching right there. We have Tony Gonsolin. Tony Gonsolin's probably going to be an all-star.
See, that's good, man. Look at that. Tony Gonsolin. What's 10 wins what? He's what?
10 wins. I think he's 10-0. I think he's undefeated.
No, he can't be 10-0. Is he? Oh, 10-0?
He's 10-0. Yeah.
That's the spot right there. See,
Yeah.
they're going to do him because home Dodgers at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you gotta have your hometown team represented in there.
He's going to be a starter. I think he's going to be a starter for the National League.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because Brian Snitker is the manager for the National League.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be Gonsolin starting.
Yeah, Gonsolin's going to start. And then for the American League,
Shane McClanahan.
McClanahan, yeah. McClanahan's going to be in there from the Rays. Yeah, he's good.
What's his record?
He's lost a couple times.
9-3. Okay, what's Verlander?
Verlander, I'm pretty confident he's lost at least one game or two. Like he's somewhere up there. Like how many wins does he have? He has 10 wins. He's 10-3, so he's lost a couple times.
His ERA is better. I think it's going to be
2.03.
I think it's going to be one of those two. Either McClanahan or Verlander.
McClanahan, Verlander, and then you got to have. I don't know what they're going to do based on like if there's going to be like 3 pitchers, 4 pitchers, whatever. But like this is just my personal opinion. You can't ignore like the guys below them. Like you can't ignore Alek Manoah, who was really, really hot at one point. Nestor Cortez has had some really good plays over the course of the season, excluding a diving stop at first base. Like he's had some memorable moments, and the ERA has crept up a little bit, but he's had some good games. But I do agree with you, McClanahan. McClanahan's had a very sneaky good season that no one's talking about because unfortunately the Rays are just not that good this year.
What's Nestor's record? 7-3, 7-4?
7-3. Yeah.
Well, if he gets you 8 more wins, I'd say if he gives you 15, that's house money. So if he gives you 7 more wins after the All-Star break and you got 14 out of him, you can't ask any more than that with him.
If he puts up another quality start that's Cortez like, then he's getting an All-Star game. But anyway, that's just going to do it for pitching. But next up on the agenda that we have here on this lovely sheet of paper, we have the Guardians falling apart. They've lost 6 of the last 7 games. Carl is eating crow still, but like he's eating crow hard now because the Guardians are now 4.5 back in the division. They're 3 back of a wild card spot, and it looked like the Guardians were going to challenge the Twins to get first place in the Central, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon because the Twins are playing winning baseball. The Guardians have fallen apart. They're 500 now. They're 40-40 with another 8-2 loss to the Tigers. So that's unfortunately the scenario here for the Guardians. And the thing is, can they rebound? Because we've seen them put on some good displays of talent. We've seen them play good baseball, but can they bounce back? Carl, what do you think?
With that division, Detroit, nah. Royals, nah. White Sox. See, you just don't know with the White Sox because when they get their people back, are they going to do what Atlanta did and just flip it on? You see, you just can't. Just because they're 5.5 back, there's still a lot of game left. Now, are they going to be buyers? Ming, what do you think? Do you think with 5.5 being back, they're going to get most of their guys back with the White Sox? I don't think they're dead yet. I still think, for some reason, they're underachieving. You know what I'm saying?
White Sox?
The White Sox.
They got a horrible manager, man. Who intentionally walks a guy with a 1-2 count? Get out of here.
And over the weekend,
was Tony La Russa drunk when he made that call?
And over the weekend, they had a triple play. You saw that triple play?
Tony La Russa will not last the season. I'm calling it right now. I mean, that's not rocket science right there.
They're gonna get in.
The playoffs? Yeah, but how far are they gonna go?
I don't know, but for some reason, you just can't write them off yet.
You can't write them off?
No.
Hold on. That division's awful, by the way.
It's a terrible division.
Awful.
The AL Central is the worst division in baseball.
Dude, if the Orioles got moved over there, they'd be in like third or second place.
Yeah, you have 5.5.
If the Orioles moved there, yeah.
Yeah. Can Baltimore move to the AL Central, please? Because that'd be awesome.
You have like 5.5. They're 5.5 out. 2 good weeks. You're up in the standings. You know what I'm saying? The division's not over yet. Yeah, I'm still eating crow, but the division ain't over yet. There's a lot of baseball left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're still eating crow.
I know I'm still eating crow, but what's this? Minnesota's schedule. Let's see here. Schedule. Minnesota's schedule.
I think Ming's going to pull it up right now, actually. They lost to the White Sox, by the way. Ironically, we're talking about the White Sox, and they lost.
All right, so this is what they got. They starting Friday. They're at Texas. Okay. Then they're hosting Milwaukee. Then they got 4 against the White Sox. Okay. And then All-Star break. Then they're at Detroit. Okay. Then they got the Brewers. At San Diego. Is it easy? And then we got August coming up.
We got August. And then...
Hold on here.
They play...
Hold on here. Let me get it up. Second half.
There you go.
All right. Let's go to August here.
All right, here we go.
All right. So they got Detroit. Okay. Blue Jays aren't going to be easy. At the Dodgers for 2. At the Angels. Okay. Royals home. Rangers home. At Houston. Home against the Giants.
For 3.
Boston.
For 3.
Okay. Boston. And then we have coming in September here.
In September, which is the final, basically.
At Chicago. Yankees for 4. The Guardians. The Royals for 3. At the Guardians for 5. At Kansas City. Home against the Angels. Home against the White Sox. At Detroit. And then we have the last weekend of October.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think, who do they play in October again? They play the White Sox.
The White Sox. You know what I'm saying? So, just because they're up now, there's a lot of... They're not going to run away with it, dude. They're not going to run away with it.
I'll tell you what. If the Twins end up winning the division by the end of the season, we got to get a real thing of crow, put it in front of Carl, and let him eat it. Because that should be your punishment for saying the Twins are going to come in last place, and Kevin just blew you up on the air. Just chewed you up and spit you out.
They're not going to be in last place. They're not going to be in last place.
They're not going to be in last place, but they might be in first. They might be in first, though.
Not going to be in last place.
Yeah.
Regardless, I'm losing no matter what.
Yeah, you're losing no matter what.
So, no matter what, I won't do Krell. So, maybe it's the chili thing.
Oh, the chili thing. We forgot about that.
Or something. Something that on... if we do it on live TV, or
we'll have you do something. We'll have you do something.
They're not gonna fall off the cliff and be in last place. So regardless, I lost it. I'm leading Crow no matter what. So
okay, so Next up on the agenda is the NL East race. So the Mets had a 10.5 game lead going into their West Coast trip. They went 5-5 in their West Coast trip back in June. But that 10.5 game lead that they have had shrunk to 2.5 as of today. And the main problem was they ran into the Houston Astros. And the other main problem was whenever the Mets lost a game, the Braves took advantage. And since June, the Braves, like we mentioned, are 25-7 in the 32 games that they've played since the month of June started. The Mets are 16-14. So you're talking about a 9-game pickup for the Braves rather. And it's going to be really hard because I looked at the schedule for the Braves. They got to play the Mets 15 times. And that's really a test as to who's for real in that division. And you said it before, the Braves are no slouch. And also one thing I can also say is the Mets have a habit of collapsing late in the season. It happens all the time. New owner doesn't matter. That's how it's been. But the Braves are no pushover. I think in 15 games, the Braves can go maybe 10-5 against the Mets. 10-5 in the 15 games they got to play. Yeah. You have thoughts?
Well, I told him before the season started he was going to win the division. He was going to make the wild card. So I said Atlanta was going to win it, and everyone would say, no. The Mets are going to win the division hands down, and Atlanta was going to win the wild card. I said, no. I said the Mets will win. I said the Mets will make the playoffs, but they won't win the division. To be a champ, you got to beat the champ, and how what they did over the past 32 games, with them not having Ozzy Albies for the rest of the year, he broke his foot. They just have that. They just have that itch or that whatever. All right, boy, it's time to play ball now. Let's play ball. So they're going to do whatever. Alex Altopoulos is going to do whatever he can. He did it last year to win the World Series. He's going to do whatever he can to bolster the roster so they could overtake the Mets and win the division and have a nice, easier road getting back to the World Series.
Yeah. So
I won't be shocked if they are representing the National League again in the Fall Classic. I won't be surprised.
You won't be surprised. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised either because you know what? The Dodgers have proven that they can't win in a big spot. They've lost in the NLCS to the Nationals. They've lost in the NLCS to the Braves. They've lost in the NLCS to the Washington. I think I said the Nationals already. Who else did they lose to? They lost to the Red Sox. They lost in the World Series. They lost the Astros in the World Series. They won the World Series in 2020, but hindsight's 2020, and they only played 60 games.
And I'm not worried about Milwaukee is good. They have the pitching, but in the playoffs last year they didn't hit.
Yeah.
So they can't score. They have the pitching, but they just can't hit.
Yeah.
So that's why that's going to be with them. The Dodgers, they have all that talent last year. They didn't do nothing. So, okay, now they add Freddie Freeman. Is he going to help you or put you over the hump? I don't know. But until you beat the champ, they're still the favorites. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Or as Ric Flair would say, to beat the man, you got to beat them. To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yep.
Woo!
Yep.
But like that, you have a good point. Like the Braves got to prove that they're the champs for a reason. Like they wanted to prove that last year was no slouch. That they lost their best player to a torn ACL in Ronald Acuna Jr., but Ronald Acuna Jr. is back and better than ever, and they're playing some good baseball, and they're proving that last year's World Series championship was not a fluke at all. They might even win the division. Who knows? Like there's still plenty of baseball.
Now here's this, Matt. If they don't win the division, who cares? They're going to be in the playoffs. I want to play them in the playoffs.
I wouldn't want to face them in the playoffs either. If they keep up what they're doing, and not win the division, be scared because they're really, really good. All right, so I know that we talked about the Braves and Mets, but also another team in the NL East that's surging, at least for now, is the Philadelphia Phillies are in the playoff race. They
worked the ways with Rob Thompson as the manager. They worked the way back on top now. They're leading the last wild card spot. A lot of ball left to be played, but taking the winning series now, which is good. So they won last night 11-0 over Washington. They pounded them like they're supposed to.
Yeah, okay? Exactly. And it was the largest win over Washington in a long time.
So they got them again tonight and then tomorrow afternoon. Okay? They got to at least, if they don't sweep them win one. If they don't win tonight or tomorrow, win at least one more, win the series. You want to win 2 more because this weekend they have a 4-game series back at Busch Stadium against the Cardinals. So if you want to put the Cardinals in the rearview mirror again, you want to win tonight and tomorrow against them, against the Nationals, and win 3 or 4 against the Cardinals. If he goes 2-2, that's fine. But to put the Cardinals behind you, farther in the standings, you got to beat them because they. I think the Phillies have.
I think there are percentage points ahead of the Cardinals.
So I was looking at the schedule. The Phillies have. Let's go back to the teams here. Let's go here. Teams here. Go here. Let's go schedule. So after
the Nationals.
After the Nationals, they have 4 in St. Louis. Then they have 2 at Toronto. And then before the All-Star break, they have bingo. That's their nail in a coffin every year. So like I said, they got 2 against Washington tonight and tomorrow. They got to win both, at least win both.
Yeah.
4 against St. Louis, in St. Louis. 2 in Toronto, like I said. And then those pesky Marlins before then the first half. They should win at least 2 of those against the Marlins. Take 2 or 3. You don't want to go 1-2 or 0-3. You want to win at least 2 or 3 against them in Miami. So,
wait a second. Yankee game might be postponed. What do you mean? What's going on? Is it raining in Pittsburgh? I never really saw this. Yankee game might be postponed. So this is all 3 wildcard teams are coming out of the AL East. Oh my God.
So if they go, let's see here. They are blah blah blah. They're 43 and 38. So if they win tonight and tomorrow, that's 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. If they win 8 more games, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they go 7-4, 8-3 over the next 11, I'm happy. Because if they go 7-4
or 8-3,
if they go 7-4, that'll put them 50 and 42.
Yep,
which is good. You know what I'm saying? So as long as they're in the 50s before, as long as they're in the 50s when the All-Star break hits. So they're in the hunt. They're in the hunt. At some point, Harper will be back at the end of this year. Hopefully, he's back by middle of August, and then they have the month left with him, month and a half left with him to ramp it up and get the last spot. Now, if they're the last wild card team in, they're the 6th seed, so they would play the 3rd place team in the division. And so that would be probably Milwaukee or St. Louis.
right.
Whoever wins that division. So I think it's going to be Milwaukee. So right now it's Milwaukee is points behind
Percentage points.
the Dodgers, I think. I think the Dodgers have the better. Man, can you give me the standings in the National League, please?
All right, so
right now it would be. I think it would be. Yeah, let's see here. National League. So they're 638. Yeah, so right now it'll be Phillies in Milwaukee.
yeah,
Milwaukee, the Phillies aren't scared of the Brewers. I would play them in round 1 in the playoffs. 3 best out of 3. You know what I'm saying? Who would advance? I'll
Right.
take that.
right.
At least just get in. See, if they're the 4, 5, 6, I don't care. At least they're in. Best than at least it's better than nothing. Not being on the fence, at least they're in. I'll take that than being home. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm happy with what they're playing. They're playing good ball. You know what I'm saying? Just keep on playing better, and then we'll see what happens. But
Absolutely.
I think once, like, after the All-Star break, I think in, like, say, August 1st or August 2nd, that's when you get more focus into the wild card, right?
Yeah, well, also August 2nd is the day of the trade deadline, so it's interesting that you brought that up. But anyway, we'll have to see what happens there with the trade deadline and the rest of the games before the All-Star break. And the All-Star break should be interesting. But
I have a question before we do our announcements.
uh
Ming, if your Baltimore Oriole team is close, do you try to go all in and buy to try to get in, or just let the season run out if you're close of the last spot?
Oh man, and they're still rebuilt. They have a plan.
they have a
They
plan
have
for
a
the
plan.
future.
Yeah, I mean, you can't start trading like it's like you can't.
No, not like a big guys, but just like a couple pieces that may help you get over
sure,
the hump.
Sure, but yeah, I'm not gonna sacrifice everything. Yeah, I mean, this team can't beat the Yankees. Come on. You think Baltimore beat the Yankees in the playoffs? I don't think they're quite there yet. Their pitching is not up to snuff, but they're making progress though. I'm happy where they are right now.
Yeah.
So if they do make the playoffs,
That's a big if, but okay.
they will play the winner out of the AL Central,
Right.
in the best of 3.
Okay, they lost 2 out of 3 to Minnesota, but I mean, there's a lot of baseball left.
Yeah, say if they do beat Minnesota. Say if they do make it and they beat Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
Then they would play either either the Yankees or Houston in the best out of 5.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's tough.
But you're there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're there.
yeah, but I would not sacrifice everything.
No, I won't.
No,
No.
next year maybe they got the number 1 draft pick coming up overall in this year's draft, and who knows, they got some heavy hitters coming up, that's good pitchers. Grayson Rodriguez, D.L. Hall, got a lot of guys coming up. So, I'm not sacrificing any of those guys for this year. They're not making the playoffs. They could. They're close.
What would you do if they do?
I'd be pretty happy. I mean, what would I do? I don't. I mean, I would just watch it and see how far they go. They're with the attitudes like, they're not really supposed to be
What's
here.
going on here?
That'd be a Cinderella story.
I'm on it. We'll see. I don't
We'll
see
see.
nothing here.
All right, but anyways, let's get right into our announcements before we end the show. We have 2 major events coming up. So make sure you write this down, pen and paper or whatever you have, because this is kind of important. The first event that we have, due to popular demand, the Outback Show is coming back, and Ryan Behringer Jr. will likely be there this time. The Outback Show was a massive success. We had Lee Mazikian on, we had Mike Moretti on, we had Kevin Lawson on. It was an awesome show. We would do the Outback Show again. Hate to break it to you, but the Astros are winning it all. I told you. That's exactly what I said earlier in the show. That's exactly what I said. I said this earlier in the show. I said it earlier in the show, Greg. You missed my hot take. When the show is over, watch it back. You will see my hot take. I have the Houston Astros winning the whole thing. But anyways, the Outback Show, it's back July 22nd at 6 p.m. Be there, be square. We're gonna have some. We're trying to put together a show and try to get some guests on. There's a gym here called Stone Fit Performance Gym, owned by a guy named Kevin Higgins. And I want to have him on because I know Kevin is big with the gym. He loves the business that he's running. And I know Kevin is big with fitness. And I know he's big with sports. I think he has a sports league that he does outside of Stone Fit Performance. So I'm going to talk to Kevin within the next couple of days. I'm going to be in Red Bank to talk to him because that's where Stone Fit Performance is. But if you want to go to a gym and you're looking for something, go to Stone Fit Performance. They have an awesome gym and an awesome setup. It's I forget the address exactly, but it's in unit number 1. It's somewhere in Red Bank. You can find it online somewhere. But once I know the story, I'll promote it better. But I'm gonna try and get Kevin Higgins to come on the show. I'm pretty sure he would love that. To put his brand out there, put his gym out there, because he's passionate about his gym. He loves his gym. I don't know. I would love to know like how he started the gym, how it became to be, how he was able to get it off the ground, because he started doing this I think around 2020 when everything shut down. So I'd love to get more info about that, but I'll talk to Kevin. Kevin Higgins, not Kevin Wall. Kevin Wall is doing his thing in the Fan right now, so he's not going to be. So I wouldn't be talking to him. Although Kevin Wall would probably be at the Outback Show. Anyway, I have some people in mind that I would love to bring to the Outback Show. Ryan Barron Jr. will be there, and we're going to be talking not just baseball. We're going to be talking all sports. And
That's nice.
And as far as everything else goes, blooming onions, you can't go wrong with blooming onions. It's gonna be outside. The weather, crossing fingers. Hopefully, it's great again because the weather for the month of July has been mostly good for the most part. And I'm gonna talk to Ming after the show because I have a plan. Because to get the setup over there, we have to make sure that we have our equipment and we pay our balances to get the show over there. And I'm going to talk to Ming and see if I can pay early for it. But it's not just me, like everyone else in advance. Can I do that, Ming?
Sure. Yeah. I don't care when you pay. So.
Yeah, because I know like last time we did it like so last minute.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Anytime you want, I don't care.
Yeah, I want to get in advance. That way we know we're set for the show. But anyways, and it's not just gonna be me. It's gonna be all of us. We're all gonna contribute to this. I have the money. I have my portion. I'm not going to explain how much money it is. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to talk finances on this show. This isn't the Wall Street Journal channel. Wall Street Channel. Oh my God. But anyways, we have the Outback Show coming up on July 22nd, 6 p.m. Be there. It's going to be the four of us and possibly Ryan Barron Jr., who I would love to come on the show. And some guests in mind that we have. But also, we have on August 6th, the high school baseball senior games, once again in Staten Island, New York. We're going to be doing this again. We're going to be having a bigger event, like more promotion than last year. And we're going to have people monitoring the event. We're going to have better quality of calling the games. We're going to have coverage on all three games, not just the main baseball game. We're going to have the softball game is going to get more coverage. The men's baseball game is going to get more coverage. The Challenger game is going to get more coverage. So we're going to do that. Carl, I know you said you can't be there because you got a lot of stuff going on August 6th.
Yes, I am going to actually be at the first time ever. I'm going to be at. I've been to a lot of Phillies games, but this is going to be the first time actually going to the Phillies Wall of Fame night game.
Nice.
So they're going to bring back all the old school, like how the Yankees have the Old Timers Day, and they have Old Timers Day every year. The Phillies do Wall of Fame night. So they're going to introduce couple guys from the 1980 World Series team. They're going to be introduced and put on the brick wall.
Inducted in the Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, the Wall of Fame. So I'm going to be there on that night. So this is the first time. Always seen it on TV. So now I'm going to actually be there live, seeing the whole event. So I'm actually kind of excited about it.
That's awesome. Okay, so August 6th, Big D will be doing a lot of promoting. We'll have the guys from Jag One potentially on the show to promote the event on August 6th. It's a great cause. It's for the Songbird Foundation is the main place you donate to. It's sponsored by the Grace Foundation, On Your Mark, all these other charities and causes that are big with autism spectrum disorder. And as someone who's on the spectrum, it's very, very important that you support this cause because it brings people together and it's a good way to promote, or rather, sorry, I'm losing my words a little bit. It's good to be there for people who are on the spectrum because these people are special people in every way, shape, or form, and you can't go wrong with promoting a cause like this. August 6th, I forget. I think it's going to start at like 1 p.m., 12 p.m. I forget exactly when it's going to start, when the festivities will start. But it was an awesome event last year. I'm so excited that we're doing this again. And it's going to be better, and it's going to be better than ever before. If you thought last year was good, this year, look out. And I got to thank the guys at Jag One, Joe Saraceno and Steve Barth, for allowing us to do this again and bringing us back to be able to do this. But those are the two main things that we wanted to talk about. Carl, anything on your mind before we sign off?
No, I think we hit it all pretty good tonight.
I think we did a pretty good job as well. Siriani Says Sports every single Tuesday night on Facebook, YouTube, on Facebook and YouTube. Siriani Says Sports every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Me and my cousin Ryan Barron Jr. put together a phenomenal show.
Before we do sign off, so next week, I won't be in the studio. I'll be on the field.
Oh yeah, your softball.
Yeah. So if weather permits, I'll be on the field next week. So it'll just be you, K Wall, and Mr. Angioletti.
Yeah.
Holding down the fort.
Nice. All right, but anyways, That should be it from Carl Maglowski. I'm Matt Siriani. Thank you so much for tuning in to Talking Baseball with Sal Angioletti. Again, we're back here, same back time, same bad channel on Roku TV. Thank you to Ming for pushing the buttons for us. And as always, New Jersey,
Stay classy.
good night.
This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.